Welcome to Family Basics 101. I'm Dr. Bruce McClure, and as we conclude our 5-part series on divorce, today we will talk specifically about divorce and relationships. I'm specifically addressing the relationship reacclimating into single life, reacclimating into being a single parent once the divorce is final. Dr. Julie Wallerstein, author of The Unexpected Legacy of Divorce, has well said, the divorced family is not a smaller version of the intact family, but rather a completely new and different unit. There are new relationships with your children, and that is necessary. There are new relationships with the former spouse, his family, his friends, his communications with you. There are new communications with children, such as dictates the new communication. You can no longer talk to your children about what mother and father are going to do. You can no longer talk to your children about family vacations. So the communication pattern with your children of necessity is going to change as well. There will also be new relationships socially. It's no longer us, but now it's you. It's no longer you and the spouse. It's now you. Everything is now focused around the requirements of you to be the care provider, the nurturer for your children and your family, as well as your personal self. Dr. Jennifer Coleman, who's a national certified clinical counselor, and she also assists with divorced families in North Carolina in conjunction with the Rosen Law Firm. And she believes one of the most crucial things an individual can do following a divorce is to make sure they have a wider support system. One of the reasons being, if you only have one friend or two friends, their shoulders are not big enough to carry all of the needs that you were maybe getting assistance with from your spouse. A friend whose shoulders you can cry on is not strong enough to also fix your car, or to advise you about parenting, or to be your financial advisor, to be your spiritual advisor, to be your home maintenance person, to be your shopping or your golfing buddy, without them getting burned out. So what Dr. Coleman, I think, wisely recommends is that you must expand your friendship base. Also, there is a need, other than expanding the friendship base, is to also redefine your relationship as being one with yourself. Relationships must be redefined with a critical assessment about who you are as one, instead of the two being one. There is no longer two being one. It is you, the one that is equal one. Now, with that, questions that you must wrestle with. What are your hobbies instead of what were our hobbies? What events do you enjoy instead of what events did we enjoy? What goals do you have for your life moving forward instead of what goals had we set for ourselves? What will your spiritual walk be instead of what plans and how we prayed together and how we worship together as a couple? So you must reassess who you are and sometimes even redefine who you are. A third responsibility is to avoid triangulation within the relationship. And the avoidance must be avoid triangulating the children into your situation as a single and the pain that goes with the divorce. Divorce and relationships that will follow will have a degree of pain, a degree of hurt, a degree of optimism, a degree of fear, a degree of faith, And you can go on and on and on. But make sure, be very cautious about how all of these above emotions are going to manifest themselves before your children. Be very, very cautious about attempting to get your children to take sides with either parent. It doesn't matter which parent is right and which parent is wrong. Make sure that you are very careful about getting your children to side with one parent and side against the other one. So what do? In reacclimating into a healthy relationship with yourself and with your children, just encourage the children by being a good example of faith. Make sure you properly manage your pain and grief so that your child can see, yes, mother or father is in pain, they're grieving, but they're managing it appropriately. Make sure that your children witness you as being the determinate parent to provide for them, even if you have to provide for them completely on your own. And make sure that you become the model before your child, that regardless of what it takes to keep yourself spiritually, physically, in a place that you can nurture your child physically and spiritually, that you're going to do that. And you're going to be appropriate. And you're going to be restrained as you make sure your family moves forward with you as the new single parent. Divorce and relationship readjustment really requires God's help. In the book of Genesis, chapter 21, verses 17 through 21, and God heard the voice of the lad. The story of Ishmael and the story of Hagar. Remember, God allows Abraham to send Ishmael and Hagar away. And the story says, God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, What's wrong, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the lad where he is. In the midst of being single, the mother is out in an unknown wilderness with her son. And the son is in pain. The mother is in pain. And from heaven, she gets consolation. God sees that. And God's ears are open to that pain, both of the mother and the son. So God says to the mother, Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in your hands. God says to Hagar, it is your responsibility to get up even in the midst of your pain. And it is your responsibility to comfort your child and to reassure your child that everything is going to be okay. And the reason that you'll be able to reassure the child is because I will make him great. And I will protect you, and I will protect him as well. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad a drink. God was with the lad. He grew. And the story is a good ending. And the story is a good encouragement for divorcees who are now in a single relationship, having the responsibility to take care of their children, to provide for themselves, to provide for their children, and to spiritually stay balanced. I'll see you back in class again next time. Don't be late, and don't skip class.